going on, guys? It's Will with Clash of Clans Crusades, and today we are taking a look at what I think is the most overpowered army in Clash of Clans right now, and that would be the Druid Root Rider combo. Now, this is an interesting army. As you can see there, we've got some Druids, some Root Riders, some Valkyries, an Electro Titan, and then finishing it off with some Archers, and then there you can see our spells. The attacks we're about to show, as you'll see, it doesn't really matter what the placement is, it's still going to 3-star. So we'll start it off right here, just dropping the Root Riders up at the top, throw in some Druids behind them. I don't really understand the Druids, they just turn into Golden Bears after 30 seconds, kind of a weird troop, but all the same. Drop a freeze spell on the single Inferno tower, that's part of the strategy here. And really, like I said, you can kind of just toss the troops anywhere you want, and it's just about a guaranteed 3-star every attack. And keep in mind, too, that this isn't even with maxed troops, so my heroes aren't maxed, none of the troops are maxed, the spells are maxed other than, it looks like just the haste is maxed. And despite that, already into the Town Hall, activated the Warden ability here, still have the Archer ability, still have a poison in case they were to have any troops inside that clan castle, but they're just making their way through the interior with no issues at all. We've still got most of our troops left. As you can see, this army is pretty overpowered. You've got the Druids that are doing that healing, bouncing across all the troops, and then they turn into, again, these random Golden Bears. Interesting choice by the developers, but I guess it's pretty creative. And then we follow it up with our Archer Queen is just going to clean up while all that hit points is going towards our Root Riders. And this one, as you can see here, it's going to be a pretty easy 3-star, just cleaning up. Going to have to activate the ability there to knock out that single Inferno tower. And then another thing I wanted to mention is these are mostly Titan 1 attacks. This army works just fine in Legend League. I've got lots of clips from Legend League gameplay as well. At the moment, I'm trying to get more than 8 attacks per day in, so that's why we're not doing any Legend League attacks, because you're limited once you hit that 5,000 trophy threshold. So we're trying to stay lower, but all these clips you're going to see, they're not going to be maxed out bases. But again, my army's not maxed, but they are going to be high-level bases. Some maxed in terms of their defenses, maybe just some walls that were missing, things along those lines. But as we get into the second attack here, you'll see one of the things I like to do is just drop the king and then put the archer right behind. And then again, not a lot of strategy here. You really can just spam the druids. I throw some Valkyrie down. I like them to take out some of the exterior of the base if we can. But beyond that, as you can see, pretty much all of the troops have already been deployed at this point. So there's no more strategy beyond just placing those spells. One thing that I try to do is I'll place that root spell there oftentimes on the Eagle Artillery. I didn't in this case because as you can see, they already made their way through most of the tougher defenses there with the Monolith especially, so we didn't really need to. But I think that Eagle Artillery is something that can pose a challenge with how close the troops are when you just spam them like I did, but it doesn't really matter either way. As you can see, they've already made their way into the center of the base. Only just now did I even activate the Warden ability, so we still have the Archer Queen and the King's ability left, with 70% of the base already knocked out. Still have most of our Root Riders intact over there. Now it looks like towards the right of our base, our cleanup crew, our Valkyries and our bowlers all got killed. So at this point, we'll just get to see how overpowered the Root Riders are with all their hit points, and you can kind of see how good that Queen and Warden are when you just put them behind and let them do the cleanup. So we're probably going to have to activate our ability here as that Archer Queen is starting to take a lot of damage, but beyond that, not a lot of defenses left, and with our king still at full health, this should be a pretty easy 3-star. So as you can see, another base, another 3-star. It doesn't really matter where you put the troops. This army is so overpowered. I highly recommend giving it a shot if you haven't yet. And another thing about this army, it really doesn't matter what equipment you run your heroes with. But I have found that it's pretty useful to throw our Phoenix on with the champion, just for the fact that as she gets kind of deeper into the base and starts to go down, especially if you hit her with a haste, she'll be able to take out some of those tougher defenses in the interior with that extra, second life that she's given with the Phoenix. So again, gonna put a freeze on the single Inferno tower up there, spammed all the troops at the top, not really a rhyme or reason to it. This army is just so overpowered that it doesn't matter. Grand Warden's taken some damage there, so we have to activate that ability, but they're already making their way into the center of the base. This is a great example of just how unfair this army is, because as you can see, I talked about wanting to put that root spell on the Eagle Artillery, especially if it was further away. Literally missed it. Tried to hit the Monolith and the Eagle Artillery, only got the Monolith. Not going to make a difference. This is still going to be a 3-star, and that kind of shows you that if this army is so good that you can spam all of the troops at the top and not even worry about where you place your spells, you're in good shape. And this is a pretty high level base too, as you can see. They've got their fully maxed out archer towers there. For the most part, their defenses are 1 or 2 levels away from being maxed. And I think it's all proportional because my army is not fully maxed either. So, once you have maxed out troops, you might be able to say that a base like this is too easy. And that would probably be true, but considering they're not maxed out, this is pretty comparable. So I think that it'll translate pretty well to a fully maxed out base as well. And then no more defenses. I'm just going to clean up the rest of this base. So as you can see, guys, give this army a shot. If you'd like to see any other armies or any other combinations, or if you have any questions about this army, feel free to drop a comment. Thanks for watching, guys.